This is 3 News Daily.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Daily on your Friday, this August 18th. I'm Stephanie Haney. Thank you for being with us for what matters most to you here in Northeast Ohio. And today we have learned that sexual battery charges against Chester Township officer Nick Iacampo have been dropped. The 29-year-old was accused of having a sexual relationship with a teenager while on duty. Today, a special prosecutor in the case filed a motion to dismiss the felony charge based on the fact that they say it violates an Ohio revised code. Iacampo remains on administrative leave. And now to Hudson, where a teacher was arrested for a second time this week. This is after police say he trespassed on school property again this morning. 34-year-old Anthony Schupp was already facing charges for criminal trespassing and inducing panic for an incident that happened earlier this week. Today, he was charged again for both trespassing and causing panic. It was just yesterday that a judge ordered him to stay away from Hudson schools. Schupp, as well, remains on administrative leave. Meanwhile, in Wickliffe, we are happy to report that a nearly 5-hour standoff ended peacefully last night. The suspect surrendered just after 9 p.m. Wickliffe police got a call reporting gunshots fired at an apartment complex on Ridgewick Drive. A man had apparently fired several shots into the ground before barricading himself inside his apartment. Officers were able to talk to him through a second-story window before he ultimately surrendered and was taken into custody. All right, now with less than a week until Cleveland's first ever public safety summit, a city official is proposing legislation to increase penalties for juveniles out past curfew. Neil Fisher has that story.
This Cleveland law draws attention as City Council proposed amended legislation to increase the penalties.
To enforce the laws, hold people accountable.
The juvenile curfew ordinance, which dates back to 2007, states that, quote, parents and guardians of minors ages 17 and under can be cited for failing to ensure that children are in compliance with the curfew laws, end quote. Those curfews shown here. The amended legislation proposed by Councilman Mike Polensek states that a first-time offender could face a 4th-degree misdemeanor. A second offense would result in a 3rd-degree misdemeanor, and parents or guardians are required to perform community service if the fines cannot be paid.
If you don't start setting the tone in these neighborhoods, if you don't start saying to the parents, you brought the child into the world, shouldn't you be responsible for them?
3 News reached out to Mayor Justin Bibb's office and received this response in regards to the proposal. Quote, we support efforts aimed at curbing the violence affecting our city, as evidenced by the Mayor's Rise initiative and other numerous new actions the administration has taken towards improving public safety over the last 7 weeks. We will review these proposals to see if they will have similar intended effects, end quote. Meanwhile, Councilman Polensek told 3 News this wouldn't hinder Cleveland Police's responsibilities, as these offenders of the current law are the ones committing violent crimes.
These aren't kids that are going in and taking ice cream off a shelf. These are kids that are using guns.
Cleveland's current curfew ordinance varies by age, but for all kids under the age of 16, that curfew is 11 p.m., and for 17-year-olds, it's midnight. All right, now as kids head back to the classroom, doctors are warning that now is the time to prepare for a rough round of fall viruses, especially as COVID cases start to rise. In a press conference yesterday, the Ohio Department of Health told us that flu, RSV, and COVID could make for a perfect storm of illness this fall and winter. Yesterday, Ohio reported nearly 4,200 new cases of COVID in the last week, and that's up from just under 3,000 the week before. And when it comes to RSV, we saw a record number of cases in the state last year. Here's the director of the Ohio Department of Health breaking down what the CDC recommends right now.
Their recommendation is that infants born shortly before or during RSV season should get a shot within 1 week of birth. Also, those younger than 8 months who haven't had a shot should get one shortly before RSV season starts.
Now that shot should be available by October. Meanwhile, new COVID boosters should be available by September. Now, health experts are saying people should not panic over the rise in COVID cases, but they do recommend making sure you're vaccinated against COVID, the flu, and RSV by Halloween, and that'll give yourself the best chance at staying healthy. All right, now check this out. The Girl Scouts of Northeast Ohio are paving the way for more girls to get involved in STEM careers. They broke ground yesterday on their latest project, the STEM Center of Excellence at Camp Ledgewood. The goal is to connect Girl Scouts with educators in their neighborhoods so they can have year-round access to STEM opportunities. This center will have a wet lab, workshop space with tools for inventing, an observatory, a weather station, and more. And they're hoping that it's ready to be used by fall of 2024. That'll be very cool. All right, in sports news, today the Cleveland Guardians and Fanatics Betting and Gaming have teamed up for a ribbon-cutting ceremony this afternoon to open the new Fanatics Sportsbook at Progressive Field. Former Cleveland Guardians relief pitcher Paul Shuey placed the ceremonial first bet. The newly designed sportsbook will be open weekdays from 2 until 8 p.m. and on weekends from 11 a.m. until 9. So you can get your betting done there if you want. All right, now that he's officially enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Joe Thomas has one more thing to do. He's got to get his Hall of Fame Ring of Excellence. He'll get that at the Browns' home game against the Baltimore Ravens on October 1st. Each member of the newest class will get their ring at games throughout the season at their home stadiums. The rings are 14-karat gold with almost 2 carats of diamonds and are uniquely designed based on each player's team and career. The ring is one of 3 iconic pieces that Hall of Famers receive, along with the Hall of Fame gold jacket and, of course, their bronze bust. Congratulations to Joe Thomas. That'll be a fun game to see. All right, now in major tennis news, 7-time Grand Slam winner Venus Williams will be in the land this weekend. She's coming to Cleveland to compete in the Tennis in the Land event that begins tomorrow. Williams is a 4-time Olympic gold medal winner and is said to be one of the most accomplished tennis players of all time. For more information on the Tennis in the Land event, you can head over to our website, WKYC.com. Oh, I remember when that kicked off a few years ago. Very cool that we have that here. Now, if you've been to a winking lizard before, chances are you've noticed one of their iguanas. This is Reggie, and he's a 7-year-old green iguana. Now, he used to live at the Winking Lizard Tavern in Peninsula for 5 years, but now he's getting a new home. Reggie will now serve as an ambassador animal at the African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton. Reggie is moving because Winking Lizard has decided to rehome their iconic lizards to animal care facilities around the area. So we hope that Reggie has a wonderful time at his new space in Port Clinton. All right, stay tuned to our newscasts today because I will be live later on TV at 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. at Cleveland City Dogs with lots of adoptable pets. We are clearing those shelters all month long. Thanks for being here for today's edition of 3 News Daily. Have a beautiful weekend, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow with more top stories from Northeast Ohio.